And welcome back to TIO Stadium for the second half of the first game of the round for round 9. It is Beyond Blue round, and it's great to have your company here on AFL NTV, aflnt.com.au. That is the website to click and watch at your own delight, of course, at any time during the week as well. It'll be uploaded here and you can watch it live as you are now, or you can watch it at your own time. Southern Districts leading Nightcliff 9-4, 58 to 5-6, 36. As Lockwood and McMillan are about to do battle in the ruck. Players just getting settled into their positions. And away we go for the third quarter as the ball is thrown up. Lockwood champing at the bit to get out there. McMillan wins the tap out and falls to the ground. A high up and under kick heading in the forward direction for the Tigers. And, well, they only kicked one goal for the quarter in that second, while Southern Districts piled on 5 there, and that's why they got the handy buffer at the moment. Trying to chase that down that time there. Was the likes of Doughty and Bradshaw as well as out there tonight. Lockwood, McMillan taps it down there to Rusker. Hood, plenty of time, but felt the pressure there. Putting his head over the ball now. Coates there as well. And a free kick there to Coates. He plays on quickly. So kicks in the direction and a fine mark taken there by Bradshaw.
He's paid against him.
Oh, hands in the back?
Yeah, I didn't think so, Edo, but nonetheless, umpire must have seen something different.
So Gap gets it onto the outer side. Finds the target in Old Meadow. High looping kick, heading towards the scoreboard. Bounces in front of the intended target there in Lawton. Good pressure there by the number 17 by Gugliotta, and away they go again. So the Tigers, desperate to build on the good work that they had in the first quarter. Good work there by Mullins, gets the handball out. The Crocs using some patience. Rusker through the middle of the ground and a fine target. There was the likes of Hodges, dropped what he probably should have taken. And Nightcliff start to build on the outer side. So slowly but surely, they head towards the forward line. Hargraves looking to get his mitts on this one. He was so influential in the first quarter. To be fair to him, didn't do much in the second, but didn't get much of the pill as well, as the pill wasn't heading in that direction. So inside the forward line for the Tigers. Hargraves to do the ruck work against McMillan. McMillan uses his body well. Shaking it out of the back there is Berto as he snaps across his body and puts it through for the first goal of the quarter for the Tigers.
Clever goal there by Berto and much needed. We saw right on basically the second quarter siren or half-time siren, Nightcliff were able to get a goal to bring the game back to about a 20-point lead to Districts. And then the first goal now of the third quarter to Nightcliff bring him right back into this contest. So well kicked by Warren Berto. He just was able to get onto his left foot and snap the ball from about 30-35 metres out through the goals.
So the difference now 16 points. Well within striking target, and between these two sides anything is possible. And we're expecting to see these sides really go deep into the finals this year. It's Lockwood and McMillan. Set to battle it out again. McMillan jumps early, taps it out. Ware overrunning the ball. Going in hard there was the 24 in Laidlaw. Also trying to work his magic. That time there was Collinson. Lockwood got Ware in company. Hits up the centre half forward direction and finds there in Bradshaw. It plays on quickly. Bradshaw looks to get it back. Waits for the bounce. There's just Dosey Doan with a footy at the moment. Past the parcel stuff. Plenty of time, plenty of poise, plenty of patience by the Tigers. And a fine mark taken there by Duncan. He's roughly 35 metres out.
Yeah, it was a pretty good corralling by Southern Districts. I think it was O'Shaughnessy over there for Southern Districts, but Nightcliff didn't panic. We're able to sort of do the 1-2 handball a couple of times there and then spotted up the Nightcliff player to have a shot for goal. So they're on the run here, Nightcliff.
So 2 quick goals are much needed for the Tigers outfit, and they've got them. And they move within striking distance, now only 10 points behind. So it is 7-6, 48. to 9-4-58. The Tigers getting 2 quick goals and really bringing them back in touch, and much needed.
Yeah, well, as I said, it's really 3 quick goals, Edo. If we count that one just before half-time, Southern Districts really had control of the game, but they didn't give up, Nightcliff, and early in the third quarter, they're right back into it with under a 2-goal lead now to Southern Districts. So, bit of to and throwing going out there in the middle of the ground at the moment between the 2 players. I think it's Elijah Ware and Rusker.
Duncan trying to force his way into the contest there. Rusker goes in hard, bodies flying all over the place. Maybe a high tackle as well. Just jumping all over each other at the moment. The Tigers have won out with the ball. Gloofy kicks it forward, looking for Thomas Motlop. Also there is McLean, and it's seen over the boundary. Southern District supporters pretty passionate at the moment, as they feel as though their lead's in jeopardy. Now only 10 points. Hargraves looking to tap it down there to Marlon Motlop. Kennard going in hard. Does he know any other way? Good work there by McGilligan. Up and under kick there by McLean, and uses his body well there in Ware. And he'll line up from roughly 40 metres out.
Cries of touch from the Southern District supporters there, but the umpires paid the mark. Elijah Ware, who actually won a premiership with Central Districts Football Club a few years ago, has made a real impact to the Nightcliff Football Club and the NTFL season this year with a shot for goal.
So Ware comes through, lovely looking kick, and now the difference is 4.
What an unbelievable turnaround by the Nightcliff guys. They've really worked hard and really put all the pressure back on Southern Districts now. We saw Shannon Rusker has been moved into the midfield. He's trying to lift his charges, and probably a good move by McLean, I think. But Nightcliff, they just keep seeming to get in the ascendancy, and Elijah Ware, I think, has been a big part of that already with a couple of really clever touches in this third quarter.
So the Tigers have just clawed their way back into this game, which is exciting to see as well for the commentators as well as the supporters. Average winning margin that I commented to KB before we started was 55 points on whatever game we're calling. As the play starts to head towards the Crocs end of the ground, good work there by Hillbridge. Snaps across his body, trying to find a target. Kennard's there up forward. Also there is Marlon Motlop as he spins out of trouble. Shake and bake there, that time there by the likes of Cade Brown as he moves it forward. This is a great build-up by the Tigers. Lockwood now, slow things up. And he's got options all over the place. Which one will he take? A little chip kick. Finds Duncan. He goes long. Losing his footing there was Hargraves at the crucial time. Just jostling for position. And good work there by the likes of Bradshaw to influence the kick there. Here come the Tigers. Berto's there as well. Bradshaw again gets the handball out. Players dive on top of him, including the likes of Hodges and also Hunter, trying to get it out. It looks like an awful game of Twister being played in the forward line there of the Tigers.
Yeah, good one-on-one contest there. A good win by McGurkskin, I think it was, from Southern Districts. Just out-muscled Hargraves on that occasion, who's been very good in that situation all day today so far, it has Hargraves.
So going in hard are the Tigers as they slowly but surely work their way towards goal. A fine tackle there by Cal. And kicking for touch there is Lambadista, but doesn't find the target as it's out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, just needed to be a little bit smarter there and probably even run the ball over the line rather than try to get the extra meterage. But Nightcliff back on the attack. It's a pretty crowded forward line at the moment. We can see nearly all the players, at bar 2 of them, are in the first half of the ground.
Hargraves playing for a free kick. Dropped what he probably should have taken there as Roberts looks to mop things up. Districts out of defence, looking to attack. And a fine mark taken there by Pay. He kicks it inboard, looks for Cade Brown, and they're switching play here, the Tigers, as they come across the broadcast win. Good pick up there by Collinson. Marlon Motlop looking for Thomas. Had 2 to beat, just didn't stick for him, and it will be thrown in.
Good movement again by Nightcliff though. They saw the switch was on, and they had plenty of players working hard to get into that space. But Southern Districts were able just to get back and just chop off the Marlon Motlop kick.
Hargraves doing the ruck work, wins it out to Bradshaw, loses a handle on things. Nice little toe poke. And dropping what he should have taken that time there was the number 10 in Crawford. But here comes Bradshaw in the shiny yellow boots. Playing on quickly. It's going to take a big booming kick. And a high one, and a one that could be an epic moment of the day as well. A great goal there by Cade Brown. And all of a sudden they've got the lead back, the Tigers.
Well, he just he backed himself. He actually had a player on short if he wanted to use him, but he backed his kick, and he's obviously got a pretty long one there. He was about 55 metres out, I reckon, and that's gone another 5 to 10 metres past the goal line. So a great kick for goal, and Nightcliff really just the back in the front and have got all the ascendancy at the moment.
So they now lead by 2. And the Tigers are staying the roar here at TIO Stadium. Only gone 10 minutes into 3 quarters. And they slowly build up, this time through Smith, that's Jackson. Here come the Crocs. Tapping it forward there is Crawford, and seen over the boundary line also there was Kennard. And the Districts, can they do something? Something about this 4-goal burst early on in this 3rd quarter. They call it the Premiership quarter, and that's what the Tigers are all about this year. They've won 8 straight, looking to go 9 today. And a free kick going to Lockwood, so everything going their way. No advantage. So Lockwood looking to switch play. Has to be a damn good kick, and unfortunately spots up Hood, who seemed to be the only player in the area at the time. He switches play, goes to the outer side, finds Lawton, switches it inboard. Retland Roberts is there. He has to beat 3, does so with ease, and finds the big ruckman. So McMillan has marked all by his lonesome, doesn't fancy his chances from outside, and instead spots up the man that gave it to him in the first place in Lawton. Now, he's got 3 goals next to his name, but the question is he within range?
Yeah, he's got a pretty good long kick, I think, so I'd imagine he'll back himself here and go for it. A little risky kick by him a bit earlier on, where he tried to chip it into the middle of the ground, and luckily Relton Roberts was up to the task and was able to then spot the big fella in McMillan, because had there been a turnover then, there could have been 6 points going the other way to Nightcliff. So well done, Relton Roberts.
So it's a 51-metre kick. That's where he's going to be kicking to. Nice long-looking kick, and has all of the range that you could need in a big full forward. And gets the District's first goal of the quarter, and they regain the lead by 4 points. And it is 10-4, 64 to 9-6-60. And what a game we've got on our hands now. It's a close one. It's what we've wanted all season.
Yeah, great goal by the Southern Districts player. Then I think he's kicked 4 or 5 now.
Yeah, he's kicked 4. He's
kicked 4 goals now as Lawton. So he's been the most dominant forward on the ground for Southern Districts, and Hargraves has also got 4 for Nightcliff. So the game's in the balance. You know, Nightcliff have shown they've got the ascendancy early in this third quarter, and Southern Districts now with that reply was much needed, and the next couple of goals, or the next 10 minutes really, might tell the story.
So tap down there by McMillan. Good sharking work there by Collinson, trying to get the handball out. McMillan ends up with it again. Going in hard are the Tigers. Ducking his head there was Marlon Motlop. Finds McLean, and away they go. Ware's there as well. Lovely work there by the likes of Coates. Back to Marlon Motlop. Plenty of time, plenty of pace. Cowell with the ball for the Tigers. He pops it up in the Hargraves' direction. Where are the Crummers? It falls to ground. Bradshaw has a chance. Snaps across his body. And it's through for a behind.
He's a lively player, Bradshaw. He just got to the right spot then and read the play off the Southern District's handball, and tried to bend it back but just couldn't quite get there enough. But Nightcliff back on the attack.
So Bradshaw, he's already kicked 1 today. As the Districts build from out of the back line. Gap goes long across the grandstand wing. And doesn't find any of the targets he was after. Good mark there by Johnson. And now Johnson's bereft of any targets. He goes long up the line, looking for Thomas Motlop. Edged out of that contest there by Rusker. Motlop there again. He keeps his feet at the crucial time. Gets onto his trusty right foot, heading in the Hargraves direction and marks directly in front of goal.
Well, we've seen that combination a bit today in Thomas Motlop to Hargraves, and Hargraves just read the ball quicker off the boot. Thomas Motlop again has just put it up into the spot, and Hargraves reacted quicker than McGurskin off the and was able to float back to where the ball was going to land, and goes through and kicks his 5th goal. So playing very good footy up here at the moment, Hargraves, and Nightcliff are going well.
So 10-7, 67 to 10-4, 64. It's goal for goal here at the moment, and it's exactly what the top teams are all about this year, really fighting it out. Anyone could win the premiership in the top 5 at the moment. It looks pretty solid. I'm sure the sides just sitting on the outskirts of that, such as the Wanderers and Palmerston, aren't too happy about me saying it, but it's still a dire situation for those 2 clubs today, as the top 5 look pretty set at the moment. Tiwi and St Mary's in the lower part of that 5 as well, who, geez, you can't count them out. The Crocs in that middle part, and of course the Tigers and the Tars as well. Geez, it just gives you tingles on the end of the spine, doesn't it, about what this final series could be, because it could go anywhere this year.
It's exciting. I think the days where the competition never started after Christmas, if you had to speak to a lot of old people, have gone, Edo. The competition's well and truly alive now, and if you're not in a good position now, you probably could miss out in the finals, even if you're playing pretty good footy.
Well, that's exactly right, as Kennard gets it out to Retland Roberts. Shows some candy, switches play. Makes his target on the outer side really work hard for her. That was Old Meadow. Marlon Motlop just got so much time and doesn't hit the target. Drop what he probably should have taken there was Gap. Also in the area was Cow for the Tigers. And it's seen over the boundary line and will be thrown in, with the Tigers leading by 3 points this afternoon. And you mentioned that about the evenness there, KB. We know with the 5-year plan that AFL NT have got, they want an even competition. They want a competition where every team in every grade has a chance to win the grand final each and every year.
Yeah, we want to make sure that people come to footy, and enjoy it. Whatever club you barrack for, whenever you come to footy, you're a chance to win that game. And I think that's to everyone's benefit, not only the supporters, the competition, the administrators and everyone. So.
Gap bursting out of defence, gives it off to Retland Roberts. He chips it across, tries to find Smith. He does so. So Jackson Smith got nothing to kick to yet again, and that's through no fault of the no gut running players there of Districts, as Hodges puts some pressure on Nightcliff though in defence, throwing his body at it. Good work there by Spring. Off to Bradshaw, linking up well are the Tigers. Can they find Hargraves on the lead? Put his hands out and earn the free kick. And geez, he's been beaten up today, hasn't he, old Hargraves?
Yeah, he just whacked one over the head for his measure, and deservedly a free kick. But just good movement again by Nightcliff. Whenever they get a little bit of space, they tend to use the ball very well. And Hargraves found a good position, and the kick was good again, and forced the free kick.
So it'll be a handy goal, and starting to create a handy buffer as well. 11-7. 73 to 6-4, 64, or 10-4, 64, I should say. And that's number 6. That's half a dozen. That's a pretty good outing.
He's going very well. And Southern Districts, they'll just need to start winning the ball through the midfield. That's where Nightcliff is starting to get the ascendancy. Lockwood's getting up in the ruck, and they're starting to win the ball through McLean's and Bradshaw's been handy in the first part of this quarter, and they're just starting to get their hands on the footy and getting it into their forward line enough. But Southern Districts will need to turn that around if they're going to compete in this game.
So Retland Roberts being tagged by Duncan, when Laidlaw wants to tag Duncan, so that'll be an interesting little tripod acquisition happening over the next couple of minutes. Good tap down, Roberts wings it out. Lovely lace-out kick. Can he find the target? Couldn't get his hands on it that time. There was Lawton. But snapping across his body, it would be an entertaining goal. It was through for a behind. That was Hilberg. And Hilberg, who's had a couple of goals next to his name as well today, puts it through for a behind.
And we just saw a touch of class by Relton Roberts and what he can do. The ball was tapped into the space, and he was able to gather it at pace and kick it into the forward line. So Southern District supporters will be looking for a little bit more of that in this second half of the game.
So the Tigers trying to build up. Hart there on the wing. But instead heads in the Johnson direction. Had to beat 2 players. Going in hard there is Ware, putting his body on the line. Also there is Pay. Got to get it out there, Johnson. He does so. Kennard hits the dirt. Through the legs there by Dennis. Nice tricky stuff there. Ball still in play and over the boundary line. Will be thrown out in front of a crowd that's starting to swell. Always good with these changeover games as well. The crowd starts to build with 4 club supporters here. Lockwood taps down. Great tap work out there to Coates. And this should be a pretty good build-up for Cal, who had to work hard for that one. And there's plenty of space in the forward line, waiting for Hargraves to move. He does so now. Got the time and watched it beautifully into the hands. Didn't worry about the defender in McGurskin. And he'll line up on a 45-degree angle from roughly 30-odd metres out.
Yeah, clever play by the experienced Hargraves. He's chipped it in short here, and he's probably lucky just to get the 15 metres there. But giving one back to Thomas Motlop there, who has handed Hargraves a few tonight. But yeah, he just puts himself in a really good position to use his body well, and was able to again take another competitive mark against McGurkin. So a little bit of a worry for them at the moment, but I think he's still probably the best matchup for him at this stage in terms of a similar body shape. But Nightcliff continue on their roll and kick goal number 12 through Thomas Motlop.
It's unbelievable. It is 7 goals to nothing in this quarter, and I don't know what Mo said to him at half-time, but they've just gone absolutely troppo in this quarter, and it is great to see as well, because I'm sure Tiger supporters, they were trailing by, 23 points at half-time, and now they've bounced back.
Now, we must remember also, Edo, that 3 weeks ago, Southern Districts had about a 30-point lead, I reckon, about this stage of the game, and actually Nightcliff did, and Southern Districts were able to crawl back. So it'll be interesting to see if Southern Districts just are able to do that again, and obviously a little bit closer today. So
yo-yo footy, that's what we love. As a kick is away there by Duncan, heading in the Motlop direction. Roving it there is Cowie. Hand passes on. McLean overran that one. Also there is the likes of Lawler as he tries to get a kick away that time. Like Marlon Motlop. No, it was McLean. And seen over the boundary line. So another great forward thrust there. And what the difference is the centre clearances.
Yeah, the midfield, it'd be, I haven't got the stats in front of me, but Southern Districts haven't won too many out of this quarter, and that's where Nightcliff's ascendancy is coming from.
We did mention earlier as well that Hargraves was the primary producer in front of goal early in the first half, and now the Tigers are starting to kick in goals from a variety of players, and now Ware is going to line up for his.
Well, they're running him ragged. We just saw then that the ball was tapped into the pocket, and we had I think 4 or 5 Southern Districts players all chasing one Nightcliff player, and that of course means that there's some other Nightcliff players free, and on that occasion he was able to spot one of them. So another shot for goal, and looks like it's going to go through.
So Elijah Ware puts his second through for the afternoon, 13.785 to 10.565, and it has just been a goal-scoring spree here by the Tigers. Been excellent stuff indeed. You can have your say on Facebook today, AFL NT. Look that up with Friend Finder as well on that application. And also you can follow us live, of course, on our website, aflnt.com.au, wherever you are around the world at any time of the day throughout the week. So the Tigers in complete control now. They've turned around a 23-point deficit to a 20-point lead. And they're under pressure again, the Crocs, as Cow forces it forward through Ware. Trying to get it forward in the Motlop direction. Hargraves waiting for the spill of the ball. McGurskin looks to chip it across. Needs some help there by Smith. He's tackled and put under pressure there by the likes of Hart. Good work there by Duncan on the outside of his foot, but doesn't find the target. And now the Crocs build up through Old Meadow. But will it find their target? Their big full forward. Under pressure there was Lawton. He might get it again. Dennis. Plenty of players to help him out. Nathan Brown. Kennard diving in over the ball. Taking on 3. Giving a high tackle away maybe there to Dennis. And Kennard moves it forward. Good work there as the 2 big forwards linking up in Lawton and also Hilberg. They're going to have to scamper back if they're going to be a target, as the ball has just bowled through about 10 players. Hodges is there as well. He kicks it out into Mullins' direction. Mullins under pressure. Fine tackle being laid. Also out there is Crawford for the Districts as the Tigers slowly but surely trying to get a handle on the ball. And the ball is seen over the boundary line.
Better play there by Districts. We just saw Matt Cannard and Henry Labastida really just throwing everything in it at the moment. I think they realise that the next goal could start to mean curtains for them, so they're just really throwing everything at the contest at the moment. You can see the intensity is lifting, and Southern Districts really need this next goal.
Hilberg and also Lockwood doing the ruck work. Cowles in that area along with Smith. The ball seen over the boundary line in front of Rusker. So the Tigers lead by 20. 85 plays 65 here at TIO Stadium. The first game of round 9, Beyond Blue round for the NTFL. Giving awareness to anyone that suffers from depression, of course. We just had that fantastic campaign for men health issues with Movember recently. KB, were you sporting the old Mo?
Oh, I didn't put one on the face this year, but I have done it in the past. But I definitely gave a few of my friends who are doing it some money. So a really good cause and one that makes a fair bit of money for men's health each year.
That's exactly right, and it's good to see the NTFL getting behind it as well this year. As three-quarter time sounds. And a free kick was given away there, but what an unbelievable quarter of football. Just outstanding stuff there. The Southern Districts that time, goalless. They only kicked one behind, whereas it was at the likes of Nightcliff kicking 8 goals that quarter. Just outstanding, 9 goals in fact, and an outstanding effort, and really has set the ball in motion for them to maybe take home the 4 points today.
Yeah, well, it really was out of the bag there. We weren't expecting that to happen, and Nightcliff, full credit to them. They lifted their attack on the ball. They were able to use the ball really, really well, and give their forwards an opportunity to kick goals, and they were able to do that. So Southern Districts, the pressure's right back on them now. They're 20 points off the lead, and we need to throw everything at them to try to get over the line.
Look, we're going to take a break for three-quarter time, but we'll be back shortly with the last quarter. It's sure to be an absolute pearler, and Southern Districts trailing Nightcliff by 20 points, 85 plays 65.
Everything in my life turns to crap. My parents are doing my head in. Why can't they just back off?
We didn't know he had anxiety. I thought he was just being a typical teenager.
I can't sleep. I wish it all just stop. Sometimes I have these freakouts. It stops me from doing stuff, and I just need to get the hell away. Disappear.
Well, I finally got him to see a doctor who said he has anxiety.
The doctor helped me deal with things.
Help someone find a way back from anxiety and depression. Learn more about the signs and symptoms. Find out where to get help at youthbeyondblue.com or call 1300 22 4636.
Gotta go, mate. But yeah, if you can send through, just text through the floor and quarter time, and then half like this.
And welcome back to TIO Stadium for this last quarter. I believe we've got some scores coming in from other grounds as the 4 o'clock game has got underway at Gardens Oval between the Waratahs and Tiwi. You got a score update there for us, KB?
Yeah, we do. We don't know who the goal kickers are, but we know that Tiwi Bombers have an early lead against Waratahs. They lead 4 goals straight, 24 to Waratahs 2 goals, 1-13. So that's about 20 minutes into the first quarter. We should be able to give you a couple of updates during this last quarter also.
As we get underway, and what a tale of two stories it is for these two clubs, as Nightcliff have just bounced back with a 9-goal term in that third term to set up a 20-point lead, as they've got the advantage as the ball is heading towards the back line. Pay spins out of trouble. Good work there by Marlon Motlop just to set things up for himself, and what a great work there to find at McLean on the wing as he slowly but surely just builds up, heading in the Thomas Motlop direction. Has to be good to mark in between all those Southern Districts players down there. Great smother as well as the Tigers start to set things up again. That was Coates. Switch play doesn't fall into the hands of the Tigers players as Old Meadow marks. And here comes Shannon Rusker as he'll stop and prop as Lockwood stands his ground. Rusker looking for the lead. Lawton, who's kicked 4 today, snaffles the ball on the outside of his left, finds his partner in crime in Hilberg. So maybe this is just the scoring end, KB, because it has just been unbelievable stuff. 14 goals over the last 2 quarters have been scored down this end.
Yeah, well done by Lawton there. Rusker didn't panic either. They were into some clear early, and there was nothing that he wanted to go to immediately. So he just waited for the long lead by Lawton, put out in space of him, and Lawton didn't panic. He was able to keep his feet and just spot up Hilberg. So well played by Districts there, and a really important kick here by Hilberg.
So Hilberg sprays the kick, and it's through for a behind. So he really did need that one, as it's now 10-6. 66 to 13-7-85. Now a 19-point lead to the Tigers as they chip it away. Doughty into the back pocket, I should say. And what's going on here? Just over the mark. Just the umpire wants to make sure it's all above board. So 13-7-85 to 10-6-66 as they switch play yet again. Good forward line pressure there by Lawton. Spots up a epic moment goal kicker from earlier on in the day in Cade Brown. And he comes towards Pay. Keeps it low. McLean misses what he probably should have taken. Hood under pressure. Gets the handball away. Snaps around the body there in Hilberg. And great work there by Southern Districts to really lock it up in their forward line. And Lawton's going to line up for number 5.
Yeah, well done immediately by the Districts players, but they just didn't want to provide any loose players. So full credit to Districts there to slow down the play of Nightcliff, and they were starved for opportunities to kick it out to a loose player, and were able to force the turnover. And just a quick kick in, Lawton playing in front gets an opportunity to go for his 5th goal. So. Again, we said it just before with Hilberg, but this is a really important kick. Not an easy one, but really important.
It could be the old 7-point play. And just shaves the post and goes through for a behind. So they're doing it point by point at the moment, the Crocs. 10-7-67 to 13-7-85. As the Tigers waiting for the ball to head on back. And a huddle and a lot of space in the Crocs forward line as well. So whether they're all going to scamper in many different directions, I don't think the zone's that big as it is. So has to go for distance this time in Doughty. Finds the target in Lockwood. Played on quickly, switches his back. Goulfey hits up the target, and away go the Tigers in the middle of the ground through McLean. Lovely long kick. Birdo's in the area, and a fine looking effort there by Thomas Motlop, who plays on quickly, and a great chance for the Tigers to link up and kick their first goal of the quarter.
Yeah, exciting play there. Thomas Motlop, he flew for the mark. I thought he might have even held it, but umpire didn't see it that way. He's made a Southern Districts player hurt for that in the same instance. Crumbed well by the players and were able to get a goal, just really pushing the ball forward. So Nightcliff were able to get the first goal on the board after Southern Districts threatened a couple of times. So really important.
So 14-7, 91 to 10-7, 67. And the goal kicker there was Duncan, so he's got a couple for the day as well. And it's good to see the midfielders starting to chime in for the Tigers and give their big full forward in Hargraves a bit of a chop out as well every now and then. But a great team effort. And, well, the Motlop boys in the thick of the action yet again as the ball goes up. Tap down that time there by McMillan. Lockwood goes in again, loses his footing. Retland Roberts gets a handball out to Lapadista. Heads there in the Hilberg direction. Geez, they've got plenty of time here, the Crocs, to set things up for themselves. Good tackle as well there by Gulfi on Hilberg. Under pressure is Marlon Motlop. He handballs, keeps the ball in play. Brown, Hood, no look hand pass. Getting the kick away that time there is Smith. That was Chris. But it's only to the ascendancy of Cowell as he switches play. Finds Collinson. Called out there by McLean. So on the half-back line, working his way through the middle. Geez, the Croc's not really going to him. Had no one to kick to there, McLean. Not holding the ball. Croc supporters up in arms about that. Lockwood making his presence felt this quarter. He looks to go long, heading in the Hargraves direction, but that late swing doesn't help him out in the end. Maybe should be at the gather, performing for the Aussies. And a fine mark taken there on the outer side by Gap as he switches play into the middle of the ground now. Here come the Tigers. Got a chance to work on the ball, and geez, they're all lining up for it at the moment. And this could be their second one of the quarter and maybe the first nail in the coffin for the Southern Districts Crocs. As a fantastic goal there for the likes of Bradshaw. That's number 2 for him today.
Yeah, Elijah Ware again, he just shows his class there, but probably poor tackling by his Districts on the outside wing there. Elijah Ware looked like he was going to handball it, decided to go himself, and the Districts player didn't commit to the tackle, and through that pay the ultimate price, because Elijah Ware was able to run around, chip it forward, and then provided the scoring opportunity for the Tigers. So Cade Brown doesn't see the sideline tackle. Great work there by Smith, holding the ball, says the umpire. Hood, can they get something going? They trail by 30 now. Kennard ducks his head, tries to swivel out of a tackle. Good work there by the number 14 and Nathan Brown. But here comes Retland Roberts as he's hunting it down. Player down, it looks like it's Lawton in the forward line for the Crocs as they play on quickly, the Tigers, and they're starting to find another gear yet again. Right in front of the commentary position is Spring. He moves it off there to Lockwood. Geez, he should have taken that one. Lucky he had Marlon Motlop to mop things up. Swings on to his left, heads in the Hargraves direction, and does not make a meal of that one. Marks it easily, looks to play on quickly. Thomas Motlop in the goal square, one out. Uses his body, falls to the bottom of the pack. Slowly but surely makes its way over the line for a behind. I tell you what, the Tigers are roaring in this last quarter. Yeah, Hargraves again, another strong mark. Well defended on the last line of defence by the Crocs, though, to stop Thomas Motlop kicking the goal, but Nightcliff are able to chop it off again and we'll go back into attack.
So they're really not using the ball well out of defence as Bradshaw, the last goal kicker, gives it off to Birdo. He's got plenty of time to slot this one through, but he pushes that over for a behind. So the Tigers really starting to show their strength. That's why they're number 1 in the competition at the moment, after coming from 23 points down at half-time. So it's 15-9-99 to 10-7-67 as the Crocs build up towards the scoreboard. Good work there on the outer side by Laylaw to keep the ball in play, but the Tigers, just through power and strength of numbers, come bursting back towards their forward half. Thomas Motlop taps it on quickly. They've got a chance to kick another one. And I tell you what, the Tigers have blown this game to smithereens.
Yeah, I think it was that Mark McLean this time. Again, he's had a great game for the club. Just reading the ball off the pack, as where all good crummers should be, and was able to straighten up and kick a goal. And ominous signs now for Southern Districts. But what a turnaround, Edo. I think it's been about, is it about 12 goals to 1 now, I think, since the onslaught started. So an amazing turnaround. 14 to 1. So great work by the Tigers and Mo Motlop's group. And they've just really been able to just do it, particularly through the midfield. Guys like Elijah Ware, Mark McLean, who just kicked that goal then. Those sorts of guys have lifted their group, and Marlon Motlop and Thomas Motlop. Just the class they have with disposal of the football has just shone above the district's group. And
they've got the Waratahs next week as well, the Tigers. So another good test for them as Ruska bursts out of the pack. Lovely long kick, getting a hand on it. Lawton, can he get a boot on it as he chips it across to his partner in crime in Hillberg? They're just trying to get it through. But the old hokey pokey doesn't work for the Southern Districts Crocs as the Tigers start to build, zigzagging their way up the forward line. Coates finds a target on the outer side through Pay into Brown. That's Cade, and he scampers off. Finds Berto, had to wait for the ball to bounce towards him. Kennard's there as well. Picks up the ball, hand passes out, finds Crawford. Has he got anyone to kick to? No, he doesn't, so he just blazes away anyway. Pays there. It's a 2-on-1 situation. Hillberg's got his work cut out for him. But lucky for him, the ball goes over the boundary line.
Yeah, there was probably not much else Crawford could do there, so probably a good result for Districts, but Nightcliff far too easy moving the ball through the middle of the ground there. I think the District players look a bit off their run off their feet at the moment, and Nightcliff look to have all the running, so they'll need to stick at it, and hopefully this game for them won't blow out of the water.
It's interesting. The Tigers look like they were the fatigue team at half time, and geez, they've definitely been the side that's got more energy, even though that ball goes way out of bounds towards the scoreboard, out on the full, and it will be a Crocs ball. But I don't know, is it a fitness thing or the heat thing, or what is it? Because the Crocs looked like they had complete control, maybe lack of momentum.
Yeah, I think it is definitely a momentum thing, and that last goal before half-time was so important to Nightcliff, and we just were able to get onto a bit of a run and haven't really looked back.
Ruska, long bomb, and a good fine mark taken there by Gugliotta as he switches it back from whence it came. Players lining up all over the place. Coates is everywhere. He ends up getting it from Johnson. Cade Brown, goal kicker in the second quarter. Moves it across. Finds Gulfy. And slowly but surely, just a hospital pass on that one there, but Marlon Motlop, good enough to shake off Smith. That's Jackson. Off to Thomas Motlop, being hustled out of it by Mullins. Mullins wins the ball out. The big ruckman on the ground there, McMillan. Labadista goes backwards to go forwards. And they've gone all the way back to roughly 10 metres out from their goal line. Lawler on the outer side. Geez, using his body well, and he's probably KO'd himself out there on the far side there in what it looks to be Lockwood. But as they run out of defence, McGurskin, high up and under kick in the 8 of Lawton. He chips it across and finds Henderson. So Henderson plays on quickly and finds the target in Hodges. So Hodges will mark out roughly 35 metres out, directly in front, and geez, they're desperate for this goal.
Yeah, good movement by the Crocs there. They didn't panic, just spotted up the short targets, and a good run over the far wing. I think that was by... well, I'm not sure what Southern District play that was, but a good run, didn't panic, were able to spot up their forward, and Hodges now will have a shot for goal.
So Hodges, straight as an arrow, late swing on it, but it's through the high diddle-diddle for another goal. And so that's 11-7, 73 to 16-9-105. Tigers leading. We've got a score update coming through.
We've got a score update. We've got Tiwi Bombers leading Waratahs at quarter time, 5 goals, 1 to Waratahs, 4 goals straight. Tiwi look a bit quick out there is the message I'm getting through. Fev has got 3 of the 4 goals from Waratahs from limited opportunity, so he's going well for them.
So interesting signs out there, and Waylon Manson again not leading the goals. So here we go. The jokes are coming through on the messages as well. It's great to have your company, AFL NT. nightcliff.com.au, and you can follow us on Facebook as well. Love your company on there, and please leave some messages as well of what you think the competition is starting to shape up like, or any thoughts anyway. There's Motlop, that's Thomas, looks for Coates, just ran over the top of it. Rusker coming in hard, good tackle there. Umpire lets things go. Kennard keeps his feet. They try to clear it through Mullins, they do so. Smith finds Labadista, goes in hard for it, but good work there, and reading the play there is Doughty, and he's going for a run as no Crocs are coming towards him. Chips it across, trying to find a target. He might get it back. Good work there by Doughty. He goes right onto the outer side, finds Collinson, and he sets up Thomas Motlop. So he's outside 50. Swings onto his right boot. A high up and under kick, looking for the target of Hargraves. Where are the players on the bottom of the pack? Bradshaw's there as well. Good work there by Kennard to win his own ball and spot up Lawton, and he's got a paddock to play with. No one coming towards him. He spots up Hodges. Cade Brown late on the scene. Hodges a lovely long kick and bounces on through, and it's 2 in a row for the Crocs.
Yeah, good kick there. We do know, and we've said it a couple of times throughout the call, that Southern Districts came home with a flurry 3 weeks ago when they played Nightcliff out at Norbuild Oval. So maybe something's building here in Edo, and they can get themselves back in the game. We're about halfway through the last quarter. They still need another 5 goals to win the game, but there's still time.
So 25-point lead. 105 plays 80. Nightcliff in a good position. 5-1 and 4 straight over at Gardens Oval, with Tiwi leading that at quarter time against the Waratahs, as Rusker gets a quick kick away. Heading in the Hodges direction again, has to work in hard, keeps his feet, doesn't keep it in play though. Laying a good hit there on Doughty. And a ball thrown in yet again. Time is definitely on their side, there's no doubt about that. With roughly 14 minutes left in this quarter, you would think. So plenty of time for the Crocs to get back in this game. The Tigers need to be keeping goals. And the ball is over the boundary line yet again. So definitely some tired players out there, and we are expecting to see these sides maybe battling it out in the finals a little bit later on, in early February. Tap down again. Good work there by Coates to shark the ball. The big body Lockwood moves it on forward. Lawton now in defence. How did he get that ball away? He kicked it. So the umpire let it go on. Good pressure. Thomas Motlop laying a tackle there on Lawton. A ball seen over the boundary line. So a win there for Nightcliff.
Yeah, well done by the Nightcliff player there. It was 3-on-1 in District's favour, so we're able to force the stoppage and give him another opportunity to win the ball back.
So Hargraves comes on for Johnson, and he heads straight down to the forward position, full forward position I should say, as Retland Roberts wins out a clearance. Hilberg, Pay helps out. And Coates, who has been absolutely everywhere in this last quarter.
Yeah.
And 50 metres there for some lazy work there.
Yeah, definitely a 50-metre penalty. He's just run straight into the area. You've got to clear 5 metres out of the way, and I think that's Randall for Districts giving away the 50, and Nightcliff will go deep into attack, and I dare say they'll be looking for Hargraves here.
So Coates, lovely kick, and geez, nearly stubbing his toe on that one was Hargraves, and he's been pretty quiet, believe it or not, this quarter. But now got a chance to kick number 7 for the afternoon.
He's just come back on the ground too, Hargraves, so he had a little bit of a spell, but a good find for Nightcliff. I think this might be his first game of the year, and to be able to get 6 or 7 goals in his first game is a great get for that club.
As he makes that ball just curve back in between the big sticks, and the Tigers now lead by 31. It's 17-9, 1-1-1. To 12-8, 80. And the Tigers in complete control, and their unbeaten run looks like it's set to continue.
Yeah, Nightcliff obviously on top of the ladder, and if they do win this, this will be the third loss of the season, I think, for districts, and until we lead Waratahs out at Gardens Oval, they'll have a 2 or 3 game clear advantage on top of the ladder, so it puts them in a really strong position moving into the second half of the year.
It's interesting, we saw that happen with Tiwi only a couple of years ago, where they had an unbelievable start and kept that run going into finals, but fell at the last hurdle against St Mary's. And I know Tiger supporters don't want to be hearing that sort of stuff, but the way that they've started looks like they're on track for maybe some good times ahead. As Thomas Motlop tries to put pressure on the ball, and the ball seen over the boundary line and out on the full, in fact. As Jackson Smith not happy about that, and Lockwood will take the kick. Very mobile for a big man. He chips it across. Oh, geez, dropping what he should have taken there was Cowell. But they're going to set it up yet again, as Lockwood this time just bombs it ahead. Arriving late on the scene there is Bradshaw, and he dives after the ball again. Thomas Motlop tight on the boundary line, bending back but not far enough. And it's out of bounds on the full. So it will be a Crocs free kick. And just looking for some respect on the scoreboard now as we slowly but surely make our way into red time. So the Tigers cutting off any sort of angles, making him go down the line. Birdo trying to inflict some pain on the kick as the Crocs start to make their way forward. Scooping it up there is Kay Brown, who's been pretty important cross half-back for the Tigers today. He gives it off to his partner in Spring. Cowell's there as well. And just all by his lonesome out there on the outer side is Collinson. And a good build-up, dropping what they should have taken. Crocs under pressure. Lawler's there, and he's happy to see it over the boundary line. So the Sting's starting to go out of this game, as it was goal for goal there at one stage. Ball thrown in. Tigers a chance. Going in hard there is Kennard. Also there is Lambadista. Lawler. Also Lockwood trying to get a kick away. Doesn't find it. Retland Roberts loses a handle on the ball. He keeps going. Toe poking it. Gets the ball back. Needs some support. Great tackle there by Coates, and probably holding the ball, and is so. So they get a free kick in front of goal. Great work there by Nightcliff to lock it up. And you just think as though the Crocs have just run out on their feet as a 50-metre penalty is given away, and Coates should make the most of this one.
Yeah, there's a lot of players kneeled over at the moment, especially from the Southern Districts players. The heads are dropped, and I know they're probably physically and mentally exhausted as well. Full credit, though, must go to Nightcliff. They've just stuck at it all day, particularly in the second half, I suppose, where they're probably, I think, for me, it's been their polish in the skill delivery, which has been the difference, because I think that the Southern Districts players really have had a real cracker. You know, guys like Kennard and Labastida and a couple of other players for them that have just really thrown their bodies in at any contest that they possibly can. But the Nightcliff players have been able to do the same thing, but have just had a bit more polish than the Southern Districts Crocs, and that's paid dividends in the second half.
We did mention earlier on as well the highly contested first quarter as well. They were both going at each other's throats, but it seems as though there's more running the legs of the Tigers as well, as they lead 18-9, 117 to 12-8, 80. And, well, I don't know what you can take out of it for the Crocs. They've had a pretty gutsy last couple of weeks as well. And, well, they're just trying to get a couple more wins on the board before Christmas anyway, whilst the Tigers will take on the Waratahs next week at their den at Nightcliff Oval, as Ware looks for Hargraves, trying to hit him, laces out, falling to Motlop off the ground, and just toe pokes it through, touched on the line. Geez, he had a couple of cracks at that. And the Crocs start to build our defence. And a high marking attempt there by Marlon Motlop, maybe in the back. Unlucky there is Laidlaw, I think.
Yeah, he got away with that one there, Marlon Motlop. Definitely hands in the back from where we were anyway. Umpire might have been blindsided, but, you know, the Nightcliff Tigers, they're just going from strength to strength. There's been a few doubters, I suppose, throughout the area, because we know they finished bottom of the ladder last year.
They did.
For a club to finish bottom of the ladder and now go into week 9 of NTFL undefeated is an amazing outcome for the club. So the club's going from strength to strength, with their juniors also in a really healthy position.
Unbelievable. I think they've got 4 or 5 sides in a 1 division, which is unbelievable. As Collinson builds up on the outer side, heading in the Hargraves direction. Also there is Bradshaw as he snaps across the body for another one, and that's 3 for him for the day. An epic moment of the day for the Nightcliff Tigers.
Yeah, I like Bradshaw. He's got that excitement factor about him, and he reminds me a little bit of the Stephen Mill mould, where he's one of those annoying little forward pockets who attacks the ball pretty hard and gets to the right spots, and he's worked really hard today and has been able to get himself a couple of goals as well. But he works really hard and is very exciting when he's around the footy. So another opportunistic goal by him, and Nightcliff continue to roll on.
So 19-10, 124 to 12-8, 80. In a comfortable position, believe it or not, down by 23 at half-time, and they've bounced back. All the guts and determination and reasoning why they're the top team in the competition. And that is the final scores as well. 19-10, 124 to 12-8, 80 as we try and get a score update to what's going on over at Tiwi. We know at quarter time it was 5-1 to 4 straight over there, and look, that's 31 playing 24. With Favola kicking 3, but today the highlights have been Hargraves with 7 in front of the big sticks, and also the teamwork as well in the second quarter. A tale of 2 stories where the Crocs were dominating in that second quarter, kicking 5 goals to 1, and then all of a sudden, the Tigers just came out roaring, 9 goals to nothing in that third quarter, really setting up this big 44-point win for them today.
Yeah, well done to the Nightcliff Tigers, and I think that Michael McLean and the Southern Districts players will be pretty disappointed with today. They were in a winnable position. They were 5 goals up, close to half time, and really looked like they were had all the running of the games. But to Nightcliff and Motlop and his Chargers credit, they were able to sneak back with a couple of goals early in the third quarter, and just continued on with their momentum. And once they got on a run, boy did they get on a run! They were able to just kick about. I think it was about 11 goals in that second half, Edo, correct me if I'm wrong, but
yep.
Daniel and Hargraves was a big influence with that. He's got 7 for the day, and a likely type for them. I'm sure they'll be hoping that he hangs around for a while, but Nightcliff continue to go on their run of without losing a game this year, and a very good position going into the second half of the season.
15 goals to 2 in the second half. Just absolutely amazing, and as we said, they were down by 23 at half time, and that takes a lot of guts as well to come back from that in the hot conditions, humid conditions. It's wet season football, so if you're watching from down south, it's completely different to what you're used to in winter, and it really is probably a good fitness campaign. If you're ever thinking about coming up here and rolling the dice, it is going to be absolutely unbelievable if you do throw your hat into the ring to play in the NTFL. Look, Nightcliff undefeated on top of the ladder. There are 3 other games to be played, obviously one being continued over there at Gardens Oval. Any score updates?
Yeah, we've got an update over there. We've got Tiwi continue to lead at the moment, and it looks like a pretty tight game. It's Tiwi 7 goals 4, leading Waratahs 5-2. So that'll be about halfway through the second quarter. So Tiwi 7-4 to Waratahs 5-2.
And they've really come of age over the last couple of weeks. The Tiwi Bombers starting to get into some great form. We see Darwin run onto the ground. They're taking on Palmerston today. You would think Palmerston will get over the line, but their form's been up and down of late as well. And well, Darwin, look, they're just hoping for a win. They're desperate and hungry for a win. Yeah,
well, I've spoken to a few people from the Darwin Buffaloes this week, and they've actually got a real belief in themselves this week, because they are playing Palmerston, who are down the bottom. We know they're playing pretty good footy, but they're still near the bottom, second bottom, and they've got a belief they can be competitive today. So I think what we'll see from the Darwin Buffaloes today is a pretty spirited attack on the ball, and just trying to do whatever they can. But I would expect that Palmerston won't want to lose this one, and they desperately need to keep in contention for the top 5, and they won't want to let this one slip.
The other big match later on this evening that gets underway at 7:30. It is the Wanderers playing host to St Mary's, the 2 home ground tenants here at TIO Stadium, and what a game it's going to be. It's an unbelievable story, isn't it? Only a couple of months ago, the Wanderers were walking off this ground, premiers, in the competition, knocking off St Mary's, and now, well, it's a different story. St Mary's always around the mark, but the Wanderers have really fallen off the wagon.
Yeah. I've seen Wanderers play a couple of games this year, and they do show glimpses of really good footy, which probably helped them get to their premiership last year. And they're an exciting football club, and for them to only have had a couple of wins this year is an unbelievable result, really. But I expect them to come out tonight against St Mary's in really an even contest, and I can't pick who the winner of that one will be. If I had to guess one, I'd be saying Wanderers in a close game, because just due to their little bit more pace than St Mary's, I think.
And they also knocked off the Waratahs last week, who were undefeated only 2 weeks ago. They look like they might go down to Tiwi as well today, so they might be falling off the wagon as well. Some big games coming your way next week if we get ahead to the likelihood of, I think it is round 10 next week. Palmerston taking on Southern Districts, Nightcliff and the Tiwi Bombers, and St Mary's and Waratahs, and then a Sunday afternoon game at Gardens Oval, Darwin taking on Wanderers there. So, look, some great football action coming your way. We're unsure which game we're going to be calling next week. It'll probably be one based here at maybe the late one, the 6 o'clock game next week between St Mary's and Waratahs, but we'll see how we go with that. KB, always great to have you company.
Thanks, Edo. Really enjoyed today's game, and well done to Mo Motlop and the Nightcliff Football Club.
And we'll be back next week with more AFL NTV. Always, you can catch us on aflnt.com.au. Until next week, enjoy your football.